This picture is the summary of Piaget's theory. What is stated in this picture? A sensory motor stage. It is from birth to 2 years. You have to keep this picture in mind while writing the theory, while explaining the theory, or you can draw this picture also in your examination. So birth to 2 years, infant understand world through senses and actions. And that is why the sensory motor stage. And you have learned in detail about the sensory motor stage, how senses stimulates and how action is taken. Most of the actions in sensory motor stage are reflex actions. Then pre-operational stage. It is from 2 years to 7 years. Now, in this stage, the child understands world through language and mental images. Means now the focus is shifted from reflex actions. Reflexes are now well controlled. The stimulus is not captured immediately. Stimulus is first understood either in the form of mental image or a language. The expression of the boy or girl or the expression of the child is in the form of the language. He expresses what he understands through language. But the language which has mental images, concrete mental images, will be expressed. Abstraction will not be expressed. In a pre-operation stage, a child do not understand abstraction much more. But it is not very, very true practically. Some genius child, even at the age of 5 to 7 years, they expresses meaning, they understand abstraction also. But those are exception. What is given here is a normal aspect of the intelligence development. In a concrete operation stage, which is from 7 to 12 years, here understanding of the world around is through logical thinking and classification or categorization. Means the thinking become more precise. The reasoning is added to the thinking. Thinking and reasoning together expresses cognitive phenomena better. The cognition is matured well in this stage from 7 years to 12 years. And logical thinking becomes the base of understanding the people and understanding the event. That is the normal development of the intelligence. Some genius people at this age already reaches to the next stage, of formal operation. And some mentally retarded people or mentally retarded children cannot reach to the concrete operational stage. They remains in sensory motor or pre-operational stage. Even learning pre-operations is difficult for mentally retarded person. Now, next is formal operation stage, which is 12 years onward, in which the whole world, people, event, situations, etc., has been understood through hypothetical thinking and scientific reasoning, which is very, very important. Understanding hypothesis, coining hypothesis, deciding on own hypothesis is an important part, and it is from 12 years to almost 17 years. Or you can take 18 years, 12 years to 18 years. This is the stage where we can call that the adolescence, boy or girl, is fully matured, and at the age of 18, even the law allows them a status of a matured individual. But formal operations cannot be attended by almost all people. Particularly mentally retarded people may not attend the formal operation stage. They may be struggling with the pre-operation and concrete operation stage only. And the genius people at this age, they continuously improve their formal operations, means they go on coining various hypotheses. Their scientific reasoning is so mature that they can understand the reality of the world around them. After formal understanding of a formal operation, understanding the reality of the world, that is the next stage, but it is not given by Piaget. The real world, how ruthless this world is and how sensitive this world is. The sensitivity and ruthlessness of this world you can understand from the one comment which is made by Nupur Sharma. So there were agitation in 5 to 7 states against Nupur Sharma. That is a sensitivity part of our nation. And the ruthlessness part you can understand from the murder of one person in Udaipur. That is ruthlessness part. And that is the real word actually. The reality of world is this. So understanding reality of the world is beyond formal operation stage. Here only hypothetical thinking. Here only assumptions. Hypothetical thinking means assumption, assuming that if I will do this, this will happen. That is the assumption. So the level is attended up to assuming certain hypothetical situation or condition. Beyond that, beyond the formal operation, the real world exists. So this is in one chart, you can understand Piaget's sensory, motor, pre-operation, concrete operation, and formal operation stage. I have already given you the various words related to these stages. Now, what you have to remember, sensory motor stage is dominated by reflex and reflex actions. Pre-operational stage is dominated by object permanence, image formation in mind, and giving the name to the images or giving the meaning to the images. That is pre-operations. And thoughts are expressed through language. ऐसे pre-operational stage में, like I have explained you many of the operation, like conservation of the information. And in conservation, there are conservation of 13 to 14 items. That is weight, volume, mass, distance, height, alphabets, numbers. All this takes place in pre-operation stage. In a concrete operation stage, the operation of learned during the pre-operation is strengthened further. It is strengthened further by the combination of sensory input and combination of the language input, and also the information which is already there in the brain, it combines. That is a concrete operation stage. This combination is delivered through logical thinking and classification. Means children at this stage are very strong in classifying the things. Classification of the things means understanding the differences between two. Like the boy will understand the difference between mummy and mausi. The boy will understand the difference between daddy and uncle. The boy will understand the difference between marriage and divorce. The boy or the baby up to the 7 to 12 years, she will understand the difference between teachers. Who teacher is teaching better and who teacher is not teaching better. So this stage is dominated by understanding differences between similar events, similar people. That is why it is called as concrete operational stage. Our operations become, our mental operations become very concrete, strong, strengthen it. And next is when what is learned through senses, what is learned through language, what is learned through logical thinking, all three is combining to in a formal operation stage, and the baby boy or the baby girl at the adolescence age are able to assume, to give the meaning to. They give meaning to. They determine their hypothesis. Like particularly one hypothesis is normally determined at the age of 12 or 12 to 18 years. Whether my mother is better than my father or whether my father is better than my mother. That is the hypothesis. Or my both parents are loving me equal. 3 hypotheses. So one is chosen. At this age of 12 years onward, the boy or the girl will choose one hypothesis out of 3. First hypothesis, my mother is better than my father. Second hypothesis, my father is better than my mother. And third hypothesis, my parents are better than anybody's parent. My parent is best. So any kind of hypothesis that will be determined, that depend on the situation of how mother and father reacts. So this way, hypothesis will be formed. If you ask adolescents, boy or girl of 12 years onward about their mother and father, so they will have specific statement for them. And those specific statement means hypothesis formation, assumption formation. That may not be a reality. That may not be the complete truth. But those assumptions will be formed by adolescents, boy or girl. Some boys and girls also form the hypothesis. My both parents are worst. The parent of my friend is better than my parent. So they compare friend's parent with her parent. So here the comparison is made. Here the differences are categorized. And then formal operations are strengthened. Formal operation is the result of critical thinking and abstract thinking. Concrete operation is the result of observation ability and reasoning ability, general reasoning ability. Pre-operational is the result of clarity of thinking and observation ability. And sensory motor stage is the result of sensibility, understanding through senses and actions. So what is sensed and what is acted, that is only understood. Whatever I told you, clarity of thinking, observation ability, reasoning ability, critical reasoning, and abstract reasoning. In addition to these, there are few more reasoning which is developed during stage. But these 5 components are the important components of intelligence. And all these 5 components are measured through a test called as Raven's progressive matrices test. So I think enough has been delivered for this chart. Have any doubt?